It was just my birthday and I got gifted this brand new Oklahoma Joe reverse flow. And before we begin to smoking it, we got to smoke it in. We got to season it. So I'm going to take you through on the steps that you need to do before you get smoking. So you're probably thinking, why do we need to burn in our smoker? So the reason for that is that there's a lot of the factory flavors. There could be a little bit of the residue. So what we need to do, we need to season it just like we would do a commercial oven or a really nice frying pan or something like that. So what we do, we want to put this protective coating, get all the elements that came from the factory, all those flavors out of there, so that we're just cooking with the proper flavors of good smoke. So what I'm going to do first is just coat the inside of the cooking chamber with a high temp oil. So that could be a canola oil or something like a grapeseed oil. So I'm just going to cover all the interior with a nice quality high temp oil. Now, I know what you're thinking, why do we need to cover the inside with oil? So what that does, it puts this nice lacquer over the top of everything so that when we fire it up and start smoking, start running some heat through there, all those dust, all those factory particles and everything like that that are going to be in there are going to get caught in the oil, and that oil is going to start to run into the bottom of our smoker, into our drip tray, and it's going to take all those little nasty impurities with it. All right, so next step, what I've got here, I've filled up my chimney and we've got some nice charcoal here, so I'm going to spark this up just to get everything running nice and hot. So I'm going to light this now. So what I'm going to do now while that's heating up, getting nice and hot, is that I'm going to fill up the charcoal basket with a little bit more of charcoal in here too. And then, because what we want our burn to go through, we want it to run a little bit hotter than what we usually would for a smoking temp. We would need it to go for maybe a couple of hours. I'm going to be burning this one in for about 2 to 3 hours. So I like using lump charcoal. I just prefer it. You can use the heat beads as well, or the smaller briquettes. That's just personal preference, guys. I've always cooked with charcoal. That's just what I like to do. So next up, the one that I have here is Oklahoma Joe Longhorn reverse flow. What is a reverse flow? I'll take you through exactly what that means. So we have our charcoal basket, which is all in here. So where that goes is our heat and our smoke transfers through the bottom underneath our grill grate, underneath the bottom here, and then comes back up. So instead of coming out the stack at the end here, it actually flows back over the top and then out the stack here, and then out that side, instead of like a traditional smoker, out this side here. So all that does is that it just helps to regulate temperature a little bit better. It stays warmer for longer. All that heat's having to go through the bottom and then back across the top and then out the other side, instead of just straight in and out the other end. All right, so our chimney's raw and hot now. Just going to take that, tip it straight into the basket. All right, so what we want to do now, just going to close that up. We're going to open up our air intake all the way, and we're going to open up our stack as well, because what we want this getting up to about 300 to 350. So it's only been a couple minutes and you can already see that dial's starting to shift. All right, so that's temp starting to get up now. What we're going to do, we're going to throw in some wood chunks just to get that smoke flavor coated through in our new smoker. So what we're going to do, we're only using our type of wood chunks or our chips that we're going to be smoking with. Don't use anything else. You can add different flavors, or it could be a little bit harsher, and it can taint the inside of your smoker. So we're only going to use just proper, quality, clean smoking chips. All right, so our smoker's up to temp now. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna let that burn out. So we want to burn it for maybe 2 to 3 hours. And all we're gonna do is just let that basket just burn all the way out. All that rendered oil that we sprayed in at the start, it's gonna grab all the impurities, all that factory dust, all the little nasties that are in there, and just render, pull all those with them, and leave us with a nice clean smoker ready to start cooking. All right, and that's everything that you need to know on how to burn in your new smoker. If you have any questions, guys, leave them in the comments below. I'll make sure that I get to them. Until then, we'll see you next time.